Hello, curious minds, and welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving headfirst into something really mind-bending. Just take a moment, think about the human brain. It's this, well, pretty amazing organ, right? This dense network, neurons, synapses, somehow making us. Our speech, our thoughts, consciousness itself, it all just sparks from in there.
Yeah.
The fact I'm talking, you're listening, it's basically just, complex neural activity. Like they say, you are your brain. You can replace a heart, a kidney, sure, but your core. That's in your mind. And we're only just starting to really get it.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating about Neuralink, our topic today, is they're not just trying to understand it. They're like boldly moving towards augmenting it, trying to overcome some really deep limitations physically, neurologically, this deep dive. Yeah, it's definitely one where you might have a few of those aha moments, thinking about what's possible now and maybe what being human even means soon.
Couldn't agree more. So our mission today, let's unpack Neuralink's latest updates. We're looking at their summer 2025 presentation mainly. We'll cut through the jargon, find the really surprising bits, the crucial insights, basically give you the shortcut to being up to speed on this groundbreaking tech. Okay, let's start big picture. What's Neuralink fundamentally trying to do? Their big goal is this generalized input-output tech for the brain. Think of it like a universal port for your thoughts. A real brain-computer interface, or BCI. They want to enhance human capabilities, sure, build a better future, but also, and this is critical, tackle really serious brain issues. Injuries, damage, developmental problems. And here's something really important you should know. This isn't some secret overnight thing. It's happening slowly, transparently. They're going through all the regulatory approvals, working with government oversight. It's all very careful, very managed. An evolution, not a sudden leap.
Right. That slow, transparent bit is vital, especially when you connect their long-term vision to, the whole AI conversation happening globally. Their aim seems to be helping humanity's collective will sort of keep pace with AI, increasing our bandwidth, basically, to the digital world. It's about empowering us, not replacing us. And that idea of interfacing, it leads to this interesting thought. We're kind of already cyborgs, aren't we? Think about it, that feeling when you forget your phone. It's almost like a missing limb. Our phones, computers, they're extensions of us. Neuralink just wants to make that link way more seamless, way more powerful, bridging biology and digital right at the source.
Seamless and powerful. Okay, let's get into the real-world impact, what's happening today, because it is pretty astonishing. Neuralink's got 7 human participants now in U.S. clinical trials.
Yeah.
And they've got approvals to expand Canada, the U.K.
And the UAE now, too.
Right, the UAE. So you can hear directly from these first folks, and their stories are, well, they're remarkable. Take Nolan, P1, the first participant. He controlled a MacBook Pro cursor with his mind. No eye tracking, nothing else on day 1.
Wow, day 1.
Yeah. And it wasn't just a little wiggle. It set a new BCI world record, beat decades of previous research. Now he's playing Mario Kart with others, using design software, writing code for an RC truck. Just amazing stuff. He talks about working from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., learning languages, relearning math, writing, classes, things he just couldn't do before.
That day 1 thing with Nolan, that's incredibly significant. In BCI history, getting someone adapted, learning control, that could take weeks, months even, of intense training. The speed Nolan experienced, it really shows how far their calibration and machine learning has come. A new benchmark, truly. And it's not just him, the data. It's really powerful. Participants are averaging, 50 hours of independent BCI use a week? Some hitting over 100 hours.
Over 100.
Yeah, basically every waking moment for some.
Yeah.
It just shows the kind of independence they're getting back. It's the kind of thing that, gives the engineers goosebumps. Seeing their work change lives so directly. It's not just tech. It's deeply human. Agency reclaimed.
It absolutely is. And the stories just keep hitting you. Yeah. Like Brad, the ALS cyborg, he calls himself. Nonverbal, due to ALS, totally reliant on eye gaze tech, which often doesn't work outside, right? Glare and stuff. So for 6 years, he basically couldn't leave his house. With Neuralink.bam. He's outside for the first time in 6 years, playing with his kids in the park, controlling his computer from there. It's life-changing for him and his family.
That shift from being stuck indoors to being out with his kids, all from a BCI, it just speaks volumes, doesn't it? About restoring not just function, but actual participation in life, rejoining the world. That's way more than just moving a cursor.
Totally. And then there's Alex. Spinal cord injury, couldn't draw or write. Now, controlling a robotic arm to do exactly that, drawing, writing. But here's where it gets even wilder.
Yeah.
They're decoding his actual finger and wrist movement signals from his brain, so he can play rock, paper, scissors, shoot with his uncle using a robotic hand.
Whoa.
Yeah. That level of fine control is just remarkable. And they tease they're working with Tesla on integrating it with an Optimus hand. Imagine that.
Decoding attempted finger movements, mapping them to a robot hand. That's a huge leap. It's not just general movement anymore, it's fine motor control. It really suggests a future where artificial limbs could feel almost natural, maybe even better, depending on the feedback they build in.
Exactly. And it's not just about lost function either. RJ and Alex are playing Call of Duty, controlling 2 joysticks with their minds simultaneously. One for moving, one for aiming.
Seriously, 2 joysticks.
Yep. And Mike, another participant, he turned on his TV after 2.5 years, helping him provide for his family still. And yeah, RJ apparently really enjoys shooting zombies. These are just medical devices anymore. They're becoming versatile tools, transforming daily life, entertainment, work. Okay, so we've heard the what and the who. Now, how? How are they pulling this off? Let's get into the tech a bit. The core challenge is what they call the bandwidth problem. Think about it. Getting information out of our brains is incredibly slow, right? Less than 1 bit per second over a day, limited by talking or typing speed. Neuralink wants to crank that up. Megabits, gigabits per second, enabling what they call conceptual, consensual telepathy. No. Which isn't literal mind reading, let's be clear. It's about sending and receiving complex ideas directly, speed of thought, skipping speech or typing. Their device does single neuron recording from thousands of channels simultaneously, read and write capabilities. And the evolution timeline here, it's pretty stunning. You could almost call it a Moore's law for neurons. So today, 2025, 1,000 electrodes in the motor cortex, specifically that hand knob area, perfect for hand control, cursor gaming. Makes sense. But the roadmap, next quarter, aiming for the speech cortex, decoding attempted words directly into speech.
She's decoding.
Again, 2026, triple electrodes to 3,000. First Blindsight participant helping the visually impaired navigate. 2027, aiming for 10,000 channels and multiple implants at once. Motor, speech, visual, all connected. By 2028, the goal is over 25,000 channels per implant, accessing potentially any part of the brain for psychiatric conditions, pain, even starting AI integration. And the ultimate goal, they're talking hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of channels, multiple implants, all brain interfaces going beyond the limits of our biology.
It's incredibly ambitious.
Mind-boggling is the word. And the implant itself, it's an engineering marvel, designed to be invisible once implanted, super compact, modular, a general platform. They went from early versions needing a USB-C cable sticking out to fully wireless implanted devices, battery, antenna, radio, all inside. The challenges were huge, right?
Yeah.
A perfectly sealed casing hermetic with thousands of tiny wires passing through, seamless charging without overheating in that tiny space, and just scaling up testing for manufacturing.
Oh, absolutely. The precision needed in manufacturing design, it's off the charts.
Yeah.
But the real sort of magic you see in action, like with Nolan's Day One, that's the calibration in machine learning. They got that calibration down from hours of engineers, pulling their hair out to just 15 minutes. For fluid control, that was just a 1.5 years ago, took hours. That speed up is crucial because brains change, right? Neural non-stationarity, they call it. You learn, electrodes might shift slightly. The system has to adapt constantly, learn with your brain.
And it's not just the implant, it's the surgery, the robotics.
Yeah.
The first 7 used the R1 robot. Now they have R2. It's 11 times faster. Inserts a thread in 1.5 seconds instead of 17.
11 times.
Yeah, and it's compatible with way more people, over 99%, because the needle reaches further and deeper, over 50 millimeters into the brain. Opens up new areas. Plus, manufacturing efficiency. They've slashed costs and time. That needle cartridge used to be $350 and take 24 hours. Now, $15 in 30 minutes. They did it by owning the whole process, including advanced imaging. They built their own imaging core with top Siemens scanners, created this huge brain anatomy database, allows for one-click automated planning for surgery. Incredible precision.
That vertical integration, bringing everything in-house, that's how you get those kinds of leaps in efficiency and cost. It's key to scaling something this complex.
Definitely. And while telepathy is about output control, they're also working on input. Project Blindsight, aiming for a visual prosthesis, helping the blind see again. The idea is glasses with a camera record the scene. The implant stimulates the visual cortex in patterns, causing visual perception. They've got a new chip, S2, 1,600 channels optimized for stimulation, can get deeper into the cortex for a more useful visual field. Calibration involves the user pointing where they see spots of light, mapping their new visual field so they can interpret what the camera sees. Okay, wow, we have covered a lot. We just talked about Blindsight, potentially changing human perception itself. If you're finding these shifts as fascinating as we are and you want more aha moments like this, Please hit that like button, subscribe, follow us wherever you get your deep dives. Your support really does help us keep digging into these, well, mind-bending topics.
That's right. Every like, every subscribe helps us reach more curious people like you, helps us demystify complex stuff and share these really profound insights that are, shaping our future.
Okay, let's zoom out again, because Neuralink's ambition, it goes way beyond just fixing things. This is where it gets truly wild. Redefining human potential. We're talking human augmentation, superhuman capabilities, cybernetic enhancement. Like, imagine being Geordi LaForge from Star Trek, seeing in radar or infrared, but that vision is piped directly into your brain.
And it goes even further. Full robotic integration. They're talking about the ability to mentally inhabit an Optimus robot, full body control. As a long-term goal, this isn't just sci-fi dreaming anymore. They envision replacing lost limbs with Optimus arms or legs, like Luke Skywalker's hand, but maybe with full feeling and control. Even more astonishing, reanimating the body, bridging damaged spinal cord neurons,
Well,
potentially restoring full body function after, say, a broken neck. But that will completely change how we view recovery, limitation.
that's just incredible to think about. But when we talk about inhabiting Optimus or linking brains to AI at that speed, what are some of the practical complexities, societal ones maybe, from such a huge shift?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The goal is interacting with computers at the speed of thought, retrieving, storing thoughts, anywhere, anytime, privately, silently. The complexities then become immense, you're right. Data privacy. What even is identity then? Who gets access to this? These are huge questions we'll need to grapple with as it develops. It goes back to that Moore's law of neurons idea. As the channels increase exponentially, it's going to completely redefine how we interact with computers with reality itself.
That's a great point and a really useful analogy earlier.
Yeah, think about the old dial-up modem, right? That screeching sound, loading images line by line, felt so slow. Now imagine trying to use today's internet on that. Impossible, right? Broadband versus the 56K modem, that's kind of what Neuralink aims to be for the brain. They're trying to massively boost your bandwidth, basically, leading to a much richer experience and, yeah, potentially superhuman capabilities, going way beyond our current biology.
So bottom line, Neuralink is working reliably today, making a real impact on these 7 participants' lives. The next big step is scaling. Thousands, then millions of people, expanding function beyond movement, robotic arms, speech, vision restoration, getting to that speed of thought. Like Elon Musk said in their presentation, it's one of the most difficult things to actually create, make work at scale, be reliable, affordable for millions, which is why they're calling for smart people to join them. Help solve this incredibly hard problem. So we've journeyed through the immediate impact of real lives change today, and we've looked at the, frankly, audacious long-term vision. Human augmentation, understanding consciousness. Hopefully this deep dive gave you a good shortcut to understanding this field. But here's a thought to leave you with. If you are your brain, and that brain might soon seamlessly link with AI, maybe even inhabit a robot body, how does our very definition of self change in the next few decades? The future looks weird, yeah, but also pretty cool.
It really does only scratch the surface, doesn't it, of all the questions this raises. Just shows that knowledge is most valuable when you really understand it, apply it. And there's always more to learn, more to think about as this tech unfolds.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive. If you enjoyed gaining these insights, had some aha moments, please show your support. Like this deep dive, subscribe to our channel, follow us. It really helps us bring you more explorations into the topics shaping our world. Until next time, keep digging deeper.